Hello, welcome back to Add It to the List podcast. This is Evelio, and
And Larry.
today we're going to talk about High School Musical. This podcast is about as a never-ending list of just movies that this guy has never fully watched,
Not today.
and now we're going to go ahead and watch them and review them. However, this time it's a little bit of a twist. I haven't watched High School Musical, and he has. He put me through this torture that was High School Musical, all three. I watched High School Musical 1, 2, and 3, which is funny because one of my nieces is a huge fan. Samantha, shoutouts. She's a huge fan of High School Musical, and she told me that there was more to this, but specifically, he told me to only watch 1, 2, and 3. So that's what I watched.
Yeah, the Sharpay one is a spin-off, and
Yeah.
sometimes we do spin-offs if it's really relevant to the story, but in this case,
I really don't know. I didn't I had never watched these. I don't know anything about them other than I just recently watched them. But I did see that when I was looking them up because they're on Disney Plus.
yeah.
Is that there's like a series now, but you told me not to watch it, so I didn't watch it.
No.
I did watch, however, the High School Musical 1. What do you want to ask me? Because I know you're like dying to ask me this something.
Okay, so first off,
Mm-hmm.
we'll get it out of the way. I know you're not gonna like the question.
Yeah.
What's your order from
There's-
worst to best? Because I know you have a least favorite for sure.
From worst to best is pretty much 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Yeah,
So 1, 2, 3.
3 is like the worst of the worst.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
It is almost unwatchable. Same thing as second. The second one is like so hard to watch. It is yeah, to me, well, they were two equally as bad. But if I had to put them in order, yeah, definitely 3, 2, 1 from the worst. 1, 2, 3
Okay.
the best.
So, what was the redeeming quality of the first movie that made it but not a please turn it off?
Well, mainly the biggest thing about part one is that there wasn't that much singing. There was singing. It's obviously a musical and everything, but man, in part two they like amped it up. Like literally, I'm watching it and I was watching it with my wife because she was like, "Oh yeah, I like them too." I
Yeah.
was like, "All right, bet you're gonna watch them." So we watched them. Yeah. She was like, "Oh my god, I forgot how horrible these things were. I can only imagine you right now." She knows I hate
Yeah.
this kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I think we mentioned in another episode that you're not the biggest fan of musicals,
No,
just in general.
no, not at all.
So, I mean, you give Disney a break because you say they do musicals well. They have the right amount of music, they have the right amount of plot, they have the right storyline to make the musical work, correct?
Correct. Like I'm saying, like the first one wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad, like music wise. It was bad. It was bad, but plot wise, the plot was just stupid. It was just there really wasn't one.
Yeah.
And like main thing about part one and all of them really is that so this whole thing is supposed to be about all these high school students, but in reality they're only following one,
Yes.
and that's Troy. And
Yes.
and like it's crazy because you got all these great characters. Like I'm gonna be honest, I wanted to know more about the Baker than I did about Troy. I wanted to know more about the guy with the big fro and the basketball player. Like
Chad.
I think it was Corbin.
Corbin Blue, but his name's Chad.
Okay, well, I know him as Corbin because that's what I liked him at best.
Yeah.
I goes to show how much I really paid attention to these movies. They were just so unbearable. But like I wanted to know more about these guys. Gabriela, I really wanted to know more about her. Like, for God's sake, they're trying to portray her as this genius in the movies where typically girls are ditzy and dopey, and nothing. We don't know nothing about her other than her mom moves a lot.
Yeah.
That's it. But Troy, we know everything about Troy. I don't care about Troy. I didn't care about Troy from the beginning. I didn't care about Troy to the third one.
Yeah.
And then somehow, like, how is he making this huge graduation speech? He's a basketball player. When in the world do you see basketball players make speeches at high schools? Typically, it's always the valedictorian,
Yeah.
and
Salutatorian.
maybe the student president.
Yeah, usually you get like bigger high schools, you'll get valedictorian, then you'll get salutatorian, and then you'll get student president. Usually, but that's it for student speeches.
But somehow this guy making a whole big speech and about how like, oh yeah, we saw basketball players can bake. No, we didn't. We heard about it, but we
Yeah.
didn't see it. Oh, we saw this one chick, a brainiac, learn how to twerk. No, we didn't. Other than one time on a cafeteria table. So
Yeah.
it was just god awful.
I
Because
forgot about that part.
oh, I remember because I just watched it,
Yeah.
and it's just all these parts about Troy. Everything revolved around Troy and his poutiness, and it's like, bro, it's like equally as bad as like some of these like melodramas like Twilight, Divergent, where they're supposed to be these big cast ensembles. Hunger Games is another one. They're all like these, but they focus on this one crybaby, and they're god awful, man. This movie was so bad. So I immediately called you
Yes.
and was like, the first thing was like, I have to ask you if I can bring this up. You said I could.
Yeah.
The first question that I thought of watching this was like, because this was in 2006 when this movie came out. I was graduating high school
Yeah.
in 2006. So I immediately thought, this guy. See, little known fact about Larry is that he used to be a cheerleader in school.
Yeah.
So my thought process was like, oh, he probably likes it because he hang out with so many cheerleaders.
No.
But it
No,
turns
because
out it's not.
I was,
Yeah, I'm curious.
I want to say I was in 8th grade when this came out.
2006.
2006 is when this came out.
Yeah,
I was in 6th grade,
yeah, makes
I
sense.
believe. I believe I was in 6th grade, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah,
I believe I was in 6th grade.
somewhere around there. Yeah.
And no, to be honest, it was my mom. My mom liked these. She wanted to watch them.
Uh huh.
They came out on Disney Channel, so I want to say they came out in the summer.
Okay.
I want to say they came on like June-ish, July-ish, and my mom really likes Disney movies. I mean, she's a Disney fan. She likes a lot of she likes movies like this. And so
I get it.
my dad worked a lot, so when my mom was home, she's like, "Oh, this movie just came out. It's supposed to come on Disney Channel at this time." And we watched it. And so then the next one came out, and I'd already seen the first one, so we watched it. And then I was in high school or my first year of college, and my mom was like, "Hey, I really want to rewatch High School Musical."
Yeah.
So we rewatched it. It kind of became like a little tradition for me and my mom to watch these once a year.
Okay.
Since I got married, we stopped doing that because, well, obviously,
Okay.
I watch what my wife wants to watch a
I
lot
get
now.
it. But remember how we had the same discussion about, because he has this thing about telling me to watch like Halloween Town and like
Yes.
all these, and I think we brought it up in one of these, but I don't remember which one, so I'm sorry. But where I told you I really don't consider like Disney Movie Channel
Movie's a movie.
a movie because they're directly dedicated to like they know their focus and it's kids,
Yeah.
and like it's not uh, um
Yeah, when I
it's
said
not a movie.
earlier that you gave Disney movies a break on the musicals,
Yeah.
I want to make it clear that I mean like animated Disney movies that they're releasing in theaters. That's, they have a debut. It's a
Yeah.
Disney movie. It's not a Disney Channel movie. He really doesn't care for Disney Channel movies
No.
because it's specifically geared towards the audience that's watching TV. When your argument was that when they make Disney movies, they make it to where they put, as we all know, they put little innuendos and adult jokes
Correct.
that are well masked so that the parents that are taking their kids to watch it can
Correct.
also enjoy the film.
Correct, because it's supposed to be a
A
kid
family
and
film.
a family, all around family film. Which is this one is like you could tell this is meant for like, all
Teenage
right, kid,
girls.
you watch this, sit down, and you focus on the TV while I go clean and stuff like that as a parent.
Yeah.
And and you could tell, man, like it's really horrible. And it's funny because I mentioned once again my niece Samantha Ashley. Seriously, I told her I had to call her because I was like, I remember her watching these films. I was like I said, the first one came out in 2006. I was graduating high school. So the second one comes out, I think it was 2007. The next one was 2008. They all came out 1 year back.
Yeah.
And I told her, I was like, at that time she's living with us in our house, and we have Disney Channel, and I remember like her like being super excited about watching these films, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to watch that.
Yeah.
And I remember her like she was super into it, like super. And even now, I called her after. Well, I'm lying. As I was watching these films, and she had this whole hour long conversation about how great these films are, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like I can see as a prepubescent teenager, like this is like almost like gossip material. Like, cause that's all she was worried about. Like, oh, well, it's because you gotta understand. This is how she was talking. I'm sorry. You gotta understand that Troy is in love with Gabriella, but Gabriella is like she needs to do her thing, and no, and Troy is like having a hard time because he needs to know if he's gonna do basketball, and I'm like, bro, like these movies are really bad. Like
Yeah, it's a teen film for sure.
you know what I mean? Like they're really really bad, and so I watch them. I hear her, and I'm trying, but it's just literally every maybe 3 4 minutes to the point where my wife was laughing. She goes, "Oh, here comes another song," and sure enough, another song, and it
Yeah.
was a song irrelevant to the rest of the stuff. Like it was just so bad. It was so bad. Oh man, the Junkyard song was just god awful.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that one either. I wasn't a big fan of
The
I
swimming pool song, new movie, the second one in the Country
yeah,
Club.
the Country Club movie was not great. I'm a fan of the first one. I enjoy the first one. I enjoy the music in the first one. The last two I could do without.
Yeah,
It it's typical Disney for them to keep going too far,
yeah,
and the second one on this was going too far.
yeah.
Like I relate the second one like I relate to Toy Story 4. I think.
But it's funny because like I hear you now, and now you're like, oh well, I'm not a big fan of like the second or third one, but I call BS.
No,
I
I'm
call BS
really
because
not.
you would always tell me, oh no, you gotta watch all three. They're
You
all
have to watch all three.
high school. No, I don't.
The story
Those movies-
continues.
No,
The
no,
story
there
continues.
is no story.
I didn't want to watch Toy Story 4,
Yeah,
but I had to because the story continues. I want to see where else it goes.
yeah, but you didn't have to.
I had to.
You didn't have to. That's my point. And
We
these you did
we
not
have this
to.
conversation a lot
You did not
versus
have to.
have to and want to.
Yes,
And
because I don't
for
think
me, I'm a completist.
yeah, it's really hard. Like there's so many things I tell you all the time. He buys movies now to like collect, and there's movies that like I'm like tell you, why are you buying that? He's like, well, I need them. Do
Yes,
you need them or do you want them? Because there's a difference.
I need them.
Because if you need them,
For
it's
me.
it's like crack.
Yes,
You need crack.
yes, it's like crack.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm spending money on something I shouldn't. It's like crack.
Yeah.
Exactly like crack.
But you don't. You want them more than you need.
No,
you don't
I need them.
You won't. You'll still survive. You'll still breathe. You'll still be okay without them.
Not mentally.
But that's what
Mentally,
I'm saying.
I
That's
won't be okay.
That's always the dilemma between us two.
Yes.
And me, I would have been okay never watching these movies
Well, it's like
in my life.
it's like I bought the Joker
Uh huh.
because it's a DC movie,
Mm-hmm.
and I have the rest,
And
but
you
I've never watched it. Have you bought it?
No, I never bought it, but I did watch it.
Yeah, but you didn't want to buy it.
Correct, because I didn't need to buy it.
Yeah. I needed to.
You see what I'm
Mentally,
saying?
I needed to.
Because I knew I didn't like it, so I
It's
didn't need
almost
to
a
buy it.
compulsion for me.
Yeah.
I have to have the last part of it. I have to watch the next part of the story. I've read books
Yeah.
where I hated the first book, and I really needed to watch the second book. Like I wanted to because I felt like I had to because I've started this story and I don't know. I don't know if it's something that my parents like beat into me like once you start something you have to finish it. I
Yeah.
don't know what it is, but
I
I
think
have
it's
to
the clean
watch, I
plate
have to
syndrome.
read the
You got
what?
clean plate syndrome, but for everything.
Yes.
You
And
know,
I'm
if y'all
fat,
don't know
so
what clean plate syndrome is, we're basically as kids we were told you have to finish what's on your plate.
yeah.
So as adults, you still have like you go to like let's say I don't know what's a major restaurant that's everywhere, but let's say like McDonald's, and you buy a value meal and they give you your fries, your Coke, and your burger. But let's say you filled up on the burger, you don't need the fries anymore. Throw them away. But no, clean plate syndrome is like, no, I have to eat them because as a kid, I was told to. I'm completely, if I don't want to eat it, I'm just going to throw it away. And I learned that from my wife. She's the one that kind of got me away from that, just to let you know.
Yeah.
Because I was very clean plate syndrome for the longest, because of course my parents were like that.
Yeah. Oh no,
And
I taught my wife clean plate syndrome.
no, she taught me, and it's way better, man. Like I have less stomach pains. Like it's just so much better. But that's a whole nother situation.
Yeah, but I've done this with everything
A
in my
lot of
life.
things. Yes.
Like I mean, but I
Yes.
mean, my dad did that. He taught me, you
Yeah.
start, you finish.
Yeah.
There's no I'm a quit halfway through.
Yeah. But sometimes it's not quitting. It's necessarily you don't need to finish. Um.
I have problems discerning the two.
Yeah. And so, like for example, these last two films did not need to be finished. They did not need to be done. I
They
get
didn't
why
need to
they
be
made.
made.
I understand why they made them because, again,
Cash cow.
Samantha Ashley, she was decked out. High School Musical.
Well,
Everything.
I think you have an unpopular opinion here that you don't like these movies. Because as movies, I don't like them. Like, I like the first one. Don't get
Mm-hmm.
me wrong. I like the first one. I will
Yeah.
defend the first one. I want a 4K release in the first one. I want Dolby Atmos audio in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
But the second two, I'm not the biggest fans of because I wasn't as into the music. The music on the first one, I think, is beautiful. But what a lot of people don't realize is that in the first one, they had a professional singer sing for Zac Efron. That's not his voice. That's not him.
But how is it unpopular opinion? Because you're basically saying the same thing as I did. Because I'm saying the last two,
Yeah,
forget
but
those two, and you're essentially saying the same thing.
no, but
I'm okay. The first
you don't
one,
like the first
I
one
don't
either,
like the
though.
first one, but I can see its popularity. I
Yeah,
can understand why people like them, and I'm totally for it being a movie.
I'm
Like
saying,
I'm not hating on that one. The last two, for sure, garbage. I will never ever want to watch that again. The first one,
you'll watch again?
I won't watch again, but I can understand why people like it because
Yeah.
it had somewhere where it was going.
Okay, because the way you had described it earlier, it sounded like hate, hate, hate across the
No,
board.
it's I hate it, but I get it. I hate it altogether.
I think you
I hate all of them.
think you hating the first one is the unpopular opinion.
But that's but again, that's fine. But
Yeah,
I'm not. I'm the kind of guy that's like I hate it, but I understand. Like if you
yeah.
that's your cup of tea, go ahead. But definitely the second and the
You're not
third,
gonna yuck their yum.
I'm gonna yuck your yum because those two were horrible. But the
Mm.
first one, I'm okay. All right, whatever.
To me, the music wasn't as good in the second and third one, and without the music, it can't be High School Musical. You know what I mean? There was no.
Yeah, but like man, like I'm talking about. Have you rewatched them in a while, Larry?
I rewatched them. I think last time, 2019.
Okay.
2019, I watched them.
And it
Late
didn't
2019
seem like as soon as they broke from one song, they would walk over. Not even walk over. It just transitioned
into the next song.
to another scene where like they're somewhere else. Like let's say in the country club, they're
Yeah.
in the grass. Like
Yeah.
the whole famous Zac Efron, he's like singing the sprinklers off and he's doing this and that.
Yeah.
And then they transition to like the kitchen, and then another song breaks out,
Yeah.
and it's like, are
That's
you
a
kidding me?
musical.
But no, on the first one it wasn't like that, and it's still a musical. It's unnecessary music, is what I'm getting at, and it's just annoying.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like the music in the second and third one as much. There were some songs I like. I do like the Zac Efron and the Grass song.
which is,
I
man,
enjoyed it.
it's so funny to me because like I find it weird because you say, oh, I love the plot. I'm a plot guy. I gotta sit here and watch the plot.
Now that's
But
sometimes.
but these right here, man,
That's sometimes.
they're pretty harsh.
I'm not saying I watch these all the time. Like I said, I used to watch them with my mom, and
Yeah.
the reason I don't watch them every year anymore because I don't watch them every year. I didn't watch them at all in 2020,
Yeah.
and I had a lot of
Yeah.
time at home.
No, I
I
get it.
still didn't watch them, but I don't hate the first one. I don't hate the second or third. The second and third are what's a series that we've talked about before. The second and third are like, mm,
I don't know.
I can't compare it to anything because if I say it's like Back to the Future 3, I feel like I'm hurting Back to the Future. Like,
No.
it's too much. It's too steep of a drop
No.
to compare it to Back to the Future 3 because I love Back to the Future 3.
It's just two and three is just
They're not
they're hard to watch, man.
those. I feel like were engaged more for like teenagers,
Yeah.
like middle school kids.
Bad. And again, I understand that because I have someone in my family who was living with us at the time, and that's all she did was want to watch these things. And as a grown as adult watching it, I was like, how, why, like, where
I'm
does this
curious
go
about the
to?
series, to be honest with you.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm not. I'm not curious. I'm not curious to watch them. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not curious to watch them. I'm curious what it's about because you don't have Troy or Gabriella or anyone that the story was supposed to be about.
It's because, okay, again, this was a big ensemble film, and there were so many characters. Sharpay didn't change in any one of the three films, but her brother did.
Yes.
Her brother changed. So you're telling me you could change a spoiled brat, but not another spoiled brat? It was just crazy to me. It's just
Sometimes.
unlikely. It was unlikely. I'm just saying, especially if they're twins, like they have kind of an emotional attachment to each other. So like if one changed, there's a good chance the other one might.
Yeah.
And then you have the dude with the big fro. I was more interested in him than I was in Troy. Troy was just a spoiled white suburb kid that had everything he ever wanted and was complaining about it. I hated that they gave him a beat down truck. It's like, come on, if that was real life, the fool had like an Audi. I'm just saying, it's the truth. There was no reason why he had a broke down truck,
Yeah.
other than to move the plot along. That's it, and to go to the junkyard. That's it. So it's like these movies were just unbearable to think of as like plot wise. And I told you immediately as I finished, I was like, they're so bad that I can't distinguish the second, third, or even the first one. Their music is like all jumbled up together because it's all pretty much the same thing. Like, hey, oh my God, I'm going through something. Let me sing about it. Oh my God, something's happening. Let me cry about it and sing about it. And oh no, I think I'm gonna break up. Let me sing about it. So it's like it was.
You're literally
always the
describing
same.
a musical.
But that's what I'm saying. But it was way too enough. Okay, you've always sat here and said that Disney movies are musicals.
Yes.
Do they sing as much as any one of these movies, even the first one?
No.
And who writes these songs? You got the most memorable songs are written by very prolific artists. So that's why they get embrained and just
Yeah.
earworms. The Circle of Life is Elton John, for dear sake. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like it's gonna get
Yeah.
stuck in your head. But there's a plot. There's something behind.
Yeah,
the
I
song.
agree. There's not a plot.
Versus this movie. There goes nowhere other than the fact that that there's like a high school tournament. Like even that, bro. Even that. There's a high school tournament that they change the second call, I think what it was called, to be at the same time as the
Call
basketball. And then and then they hack the gymnasium so they can go sing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right here, right now. My cousin Carlos, cause I know, I'm sorry, I'm bringing this up. I'm gonna tell you right now. From this fool was crazy enough to where he hacked like all kinds of stuff in his teenage years. I
Don't bring
can
it up.
guarantee
Don't bring it
you,
up.
he's not gonna try to get in trouble to flicker the gym lights off just so they can go sing, right? Cause he's nodding his head. No, I'm sorry. He's never gonna talk in this thing. We try, but I don't think he.
We
Ever
got him to
will.
laugh last episode.
And you
And
know
that's
what's
as
sad?
far as we're gonna get.
You know what's sad?
What?
I was editing them. You can barely even hear him.
Oh really?
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Man.
now he's giggling, but
Yeah.
you can't really
You're
tell.
never gonna hear him.
We get more crunk, but it's because we can see him.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like they did all this. It's just so ridiculous. It's like just suburbia, man. Like, cause it's funny because my wife and I were watching this, right? I grew up in South Park in Houston, Texas. That's mainly where I went to school for my middle school, high school days, and I didn't have their biology, their chemistry, all of that stuff. Like, it was funny because my wife was like, "Oh man, I always wanted to open up like a frog and stuff like that you see in these movies," and I'm like, "Yeah, me too," but that's not really what happens in the U.S. unless you're like suburbia. You know what I'm saying? Did you get that, Larry? Like,
Yes.
you see what I'm saying? I didn't get that. I went to a school where keyboarding wasn't a computer. Keep in mind, this was already in the late 2000s, well, early 2000s.
Yeah.
I didn't have a computer. I learned how to do a keyboard on an old school keyboard, like typewriter.
Yeah. Yeah.
That kind. So like this is just too unrealistic for me.
Yeah.
So I understand where kids who haven't gone through that, like my niece,
Yeah.
think that this is what's gonna happen, and oh man, this is. But in reality, bro, like, nah, get out of here.
I'm not gonna lie. High School Musical reminds me a lot of my high school.
No, never in my high school, unless there was lockdowns because people were getting threatened with shotguns outside, because that happened a few times. All my Jones and Lemni, if you're watching, yes, I remember these days, and I know you do too. We used to come out on the Channel 45, the local news, all the time because there were literal race wars where basically African Americans and Latinos were fighting all the time.
Yeah.
That's my reality. So when I see these movies, I'm like, bro, like that won't happen. A little pouty guy in the junkyard crying about he wants to be a hero. I know the junkyard guy would be like, hey, what the hell are you doing? Get off of that. And then they're like just dancing on top of cars for no reason.
Yeah.
It's just it's unrealistic. And I understand it's a musical, even musicals. I love certain musicals, and it's not realistic, but like at least they have a plot. They go somewhere. This doesn't go anywhere other than hearing Troy whine.
Yeah. That's the plots are horrible in the movies.
Yeah. So
there's really no plot.
I don't understand. My take is I don't understand why people like them. The second two, the first one, albeit if I'm gonna go one out of 10, it's a 4 in my opinion.
Yeah.
I won't ever watch it again. I say that, but
your wife may force you.
So I might have to, but
you won't choose to.
But I won't be like, oh, you know what we gotta watch?
There's not gonna be a random craving for High School Musical.
Never.
So what's your favorite song?
I don't have one. They're all horrible. They're all horrible in my
Come on, man. In past episodes, you've said, I love music. Tried. I love the music to movies.
Yes, but they're just so horrible. And it's funny, because just so y'all know, this guy's making me watch Twilight.
I'm not making you do anything. I'm not holding a gun to your head.
That's true. I've said that too, but, we're watching Twilight as an episode. And I have to admit, that certain ones are pretty dope. Pretty songs, the soundtracks are pretty dope.
Yes.
This, however, no, I will never admit it's really, really bad. I'm not gonna sit here and say that what's the last song? We're all in this together. No, that's like the worst thing. It's the worst song. And
you either like get your head in the game.
I hate all of them. Oh man, what is it? And then it's funny. Just a side note for us. My little sister Hilda, again, shout out. I'm sorry I have to do this to you. But when she graduated, so I graduated from Westfield High School, which my cousin knows too well because he went there too. Graduated from Westfield High School. That's when we moved to the north side of Houston. So kind of the Spring area, if you
Yeah.
mind. So that way you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So then Hilda's growing up. They make a brand new high school for Spring ISD, and it's called Decaney. And what is her mascot?
No, it's a wildcat.
It's Wildcats.
Like
So,
Humble.
so what is her on her ring? Forever will say, and she's got a dope ring, by the way. I
Wildcat?
never got one, but she got one, and
Yeah.
it's the Wildcats. And I remember her seeing, because even Hilda, my dog, because even she got to beat this movie's horrible, and she was that age group. She was that age group.
Yeah, because she's only a year,
Yeah,
year and a half older than me, 2 years older than me,
something like that. Yeah.
somewhere around there.
And she hates these movies too. And when she was like, "No, I'm gonna graduate a Wildcat," and I go, "What?" I hadn't seen these movies, so
Yeah.
she's like, "It's the High School Musical mascot," and I didn't get it. I didn't get
Yeah.
it. I didn't get her hate for it. And then I see
Now
the
you
movie, and I'm like, as soon as I saw them saying "Go Wildcats" or something like
Yeah.
that, I was like, "Wow, I get Hilda. I get you, bro." And I love you for being this way too, because I don't think that's the funny thing is me and her will probably never have this discussion because it's just unanimous. Like
Yeah.
we know. But it's funny because like me and Hilda we get along with a lot of movies.
Mm.
I know I'm gonna go off topic, but I just want to say this: like we get along. You've met her,
Yeah.
and we're pretty much alike in a lot of movies. But there are certain movies that she likes I don't like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, and vice versa.
Yeah.
But it's so funny watching this film and seeing her dislike as I'm disliking it at the same time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I'm totally understanding her hate for it.
Well, it's like the interesting dynamic between you and I is that
Yeah.
we like different movies.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah, and so
Completely.
I think
I'm
a lot
finding out more now.
and I think that needs to be explained because
Yeah.
you know I like different movies. You like different movies.
Man,
There's a lot of movies that we agree on.
Bro, there's one movie that we went to go watch together, and you were really like, "Oh man, I gotta buy this movie," and I was like, "No,
How to Train Your Dragon 3.
no, it wasn't that one. It was another one. But I don't know. I'll tell you which one. I'll give an example of one, but it wasn't. We didn't watch it together. It was
Abominable.
Abominable. Can't
love
say
that
word.
movie.
Sorry,
Love
I
that
hated
movie.
that movie, and I didn't watch. I didn't pay to
Love
watch
it.
it because
Love it.
he let me borrow it.
Love it.
And I watched it, and we're watching this thing, and even my wife was like, "It's okay." And
They
I was like,
played-
"If my wife has to say it's okay for an animated film, Larry, you know my opinion."
No, I'm saying that I reject your opinion on animated films when
Quest for Camelot was
Yeah.
garbage.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
that was last episode, right? I can say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. After
We've
you
been
hated,
talking- just so
after
you know,
you
I've been
hated Quest for
editing these
Camelot,
films. I've been editing these videos. and
don't tell
we-
me you're still hating on
No,
it.
we mentioned Quest for Camelot a lot. Is what I'm getting at because we talked about it on the Ghostbusters episode. I think.
Yeah, we talk about it a lot
Yeah.
because I love it and you hate it, and it's one of the starkest contrasts. Normally in movies,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's okay, and you're like, no, it's good, or I'm like, oh, it's good, and you're like, it's okay, like Abominable. I like it. You're like, it's okay.
Yeah. Well, I try to
You
get
don't
every
hate
mo-
Abominable.
I don't hate it. I
But-
will watch it again, but I'll
It's a 5 for you.
it's okay.
Middle of the road.
But Quest for Camelot is definitely like a 2. Look at his face.
We have to do this again. We have to do this again. It always hurts. But I think this is why we need to talk about this because they don't understand
Yeah.
why you got so excited that I bought Surf Ninjas.
Yeah. That threw me off. Like that was a completely wild card.
Because you expected me to hate it.
No. Keep in mind, that's what I said in the last episode. The only movie that I truly made you watch. Well, I made you watch Maximum Overdrive mainly because you were like, "Bro, I know you really want to. I know you really want this movie on Blu-ray," and then you did me a favor, and he bought it for me, you guys. It was really sweet. It was nice. Made me almost dug tear a little bit. But so the point is, so I'm like, yo, if you bought it for me, just watch it. You've never seen it. We're both unemployed. We're not doing anything. Come and watch it.
Yeah.
And what was your response? You could have said no.
I said okay.
You said okay.
Because you called my bluff.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you got me this gift, and then I was like, oh, the
Yeah.
gift wasn't enough.
Yeah. So I was like, come on, come through. So he came through and we watched it. I never, on all honesty, even
You were surprised I said yes.
correct. So like, I was surprised you said yes. So that's why I threw that in there because I was like, well, he already watched it, and I know
Yeah.
he didn't like it. The only bad movie
No.
that I knew that you were, and honestly, I was like, maybe he might have like nostalgic '90s, but you're not that '90s to me. So
No.
I was like, maybe. But even then, I was like, no. This fool made me watch all these horrible movies, and he's gonna make me watch worse because I already know his likes. So I was like, let me throw in Super Mario Bros. That's really the only movie that I threw in there, knowing.
Spitefully.
Yeah,
Spitefully.
yeah, that was
And like
me.
almost
That was-
pre-spite.
That was for me.
Almost pre-spite.
But Surf Ninjas, I had the hopes. I've been telling you about this for years. I've been telling you, bro, it's Rob Schneider, like one of his first movies. It's like Ninjas, 90 Ninjas movie on steroids for some stupid reason.
Yeah.
They're wearing camouflage.
Yes. Yes.
It's so stupid. And not just any camouflage. It's like the nighttime camouflage.
Yes.
What? So trust me, I knew you might like it.
Yeah.
Like deep down in my heart, I was like, maybe this guy might like it. But
Yeah.
I never, ever, right, really pushed you to like watch anything too horrible because I know what I find horrible and that everybody else, like the masses, finds horrible.
Yeah. I'm not aware of that.
Yeah. So
I don't know what people like.
yeah. So
Besides like Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter,
yeah.
those are like the big like
Yeah.
really like fantasy stuff people get aggressive about.
Correct. Fanboy.
Yes.
And so like that's for me. That was my only like pleasure in this whole thing was to make you watch Super Mario Bros. But all these other movies that like we've talked about that we're gonna discuss and stuff like that. I don't think any of them you're gonna dislike. I think they're movies that you were hard headed and didn't want to watch, and now you're gonna get it.
Well, I think I wanted to talk to you about this in this episode.
Go
I
ahead.
think a lot of it had to do with my parents. My mom hates Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
My mom hates Back to the Future. Like,
Mama Landine, come on, man.
yeah. She hates the Ninja Turtles. Hates.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Recently, I acquired a Ninja Turtles backpack. The shell.
That's dope.
I was gonna bring it to you, but it smells like cigarettes. I'm trying to figure out how to wash it.
I told you.
No, how to wash it, because
Same thing.
it's fabric.
It works the same way.
Okay, well I'll bring it to you
It
because
works.
I grabbed it for you. I'm not gonna lie, because
Yeah. I'll rock it.
okay, so I'm 6'2",
Yeah.
and I'm fat, and I'm big without being fat. So this little shell backpack looks really stupid on me.
It's probably the same on me, but I'm still
No,
alright.
no,
Well, keep in mind, guys, I'm 5'5", and
Yeah.
I'm not small, I'm fat. Just to put it this way,
You're not
I'm,
me fat.
I'm sitting on my leg to kind of be same height as him because Carlos, my camera guy, said it looks too uneven.
Look,
So
That's the dynamic though.
yeah,
That's the dynamic. Carlos Hayden because he's shorter than you. That's what it is. He wanted to throw a jab in.
It's just a little. It's just a little. It's a little.
It's a little bit. It's noticeable. I'll tell you that.
But
From my perspective, it's noticeable.
But I'll tell you, man, like we're just so wildly different, and I always, like I told you, I always try to recommend films that are some of my favorite films that I know that you might watch,
Yeah.
like Ghostbusters, Back to the Future. I've always told you to watch all of these. The Godfather. I need to mention it because we haven't mentioned it.
No.
One of my ultimate, like, one of my favorite film series of all time. It's Godfather 1 and 2. I'm sorry, Godfather 3 ruined it.
Yeah.
But Godfather 1 and 2, by far. 2 is my favorite.
Yeah.
And I've tried to get him to watch this, and he doesn't want to because they're too.
They're long films.
Yeah, and
They're
I
long.
think he's genuinely gonna enjoy him. There's a lot of other, like we were talking about, like the gangster films and all that stuff you haven't watched.
I haven't watched Scarface. I haven't watched Casino. I haven't watched Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Carlos is giving me looks now.
Yeah, yeah. So like it's just, but going back to High School Musical, man, like I felt like you you took out what my love for Super Mario Brothers were, and like scooped out and like an excessive amount, like extra out of my heart. Just carved it out, and it was just so horrible. And my wife was watching
Now,
me because keep in mind, I sit there and I watch it because it's the first time I'm watching them. It's the first time I'm watching, so I was sitting there watching them. No, no, como se dice?
phone distractions.
No distractions when I'm watching something. I'm watching it, and people who watch movies with me know that if you're even right now, this is typically my wife's seat, and whomever, and I got more couches here. But typically, my wife is here. I'm like, hey, get off the phone, please. Like she's right here, and I'm like, can you get off the phone because it's distracting me. I'm watching. And when I'm watching High School Musical, and she says that she said the look in my face like it was just pure misery. I don't even know how to reenact it. It was just she looked like every like 5 minutes it was a new song, and then she would just look at me and she said, "Oh, I'm sorry." Like literally, she would just tell me, "I'm so sorry." And
now, in my mind,
it was bad.
This movie, these movies are popular. That a lot of people like
for
these
that
movies.
age group.
Well, I mean, it's popular enough to where they're making a series, or they've made a series about it.
Yeah, because now those kids have kids.
Yeah. Call me out, dog.
I'm just saying. No, it's the truth. I don't have kids either. I'm older than you.
Yeah.
So it's the truth.
But at this point,
let's put it this way. All right, so you've watched all these movies and you've watched all these cartoons. Are your kids gonna watch SWAT Cats?
Absolutely.
Are your kids gonna watch Street Sharks?
Yes.
Are your kids gonna watch anything before they watch any of the new stuff? Anything of yours that you own?
They have to watch all of it before they watch the new stuff.
Exactly. So why?
I'm not making my kids watch High School Musical.
Disney's smart. They're gonna be like, oh, these kids have kids now. Of course they're gonna watch it because these guys are playing under the nostalgic factor. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, this is why I collect physical media too.
Yeah, both of us. It's up there.
I want to. Yeah, you can kind of see a little bit of yours.
Yeah.
But you can see James Bond.
James Bond, what is that? James Bond, Watchmen, Big Bang Theory, and I Am Legend.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird seeing it in reverse. Oh, this is the first time we're actually watching ourselves be recorded, you guys.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I pointed, I was dead wrong.
Yeah. I keep moving my hands because I'm like, I don't know. I keep forgetting this one's out of frame, but it's this one. This one. I'm good on this one.
Yeah. But in my mind, these are popular movies. Yeah. So I know that you hate musicals.
Yeah.
And really...
Did you thought I was going to like it?
The first one was 50-50 for me. I was like, he could be like, oh, this is like a 6. I thought the highest you were going to go was a 6.
No, 4 all the way.
I thought you were going to be like, okay, it's a musical, but I'll give it a 6 because it was okay. But you said it was meh at best. Yeah. Now the last two I was hopeful for.
Yeah, they're really bad.
The last two were fun when I first watched them, but watching them again and again and again with my mom, it was kind of like, we can just watch the first one from now on. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, that first one, man. Oh. I think that my biggest is that the fact that there's this big it's all these pretty cool characters. Like, I was really interested, and I hate to admit it, but I was really, really interested in Kelsey.
Yeah.
The writer.
Yeah.
I was super interested enough to where I learned her name.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, like, she's a genius. Like, you're writing all these things down. Like, it's hard. We're doing this podcast, and we do, like, I'm going to show y'all. We do, like, little bullet points, and it's hard as hell.
It looked like a blank piece of paper.
I know. They're there, okay? So it's like all these stuff, and this little girl is
we got
in high
notes.
school. Barely any notes. We're really bad. We go off on top of our dome most of the time.
Yeah.
Sorry. But so
There's a lot of prep work involved, man.
Yeah, I was intrigued by this chick. Like, she was hella smart.
Yeah.
And they never discussed her.
Which is weird because you wanted more character development.
Yeah, you know what I wanted? In reality, I wanted her to win the Juilliard scholarship. She deserved it more than this stupid rich kid.
Yes.
I
You
think
know,
maybe that's my biggest pet peeve about the third one. No, that junkyard scene was garbage. That was garbage. I'm telling you, I know I just watched them, so they're engraved in my head. But all in all, I get it. Ashley, they're your favorite films. Te entiendo, mujer. Te entiendo. Because she only speaks Spanish. So well, she understands English, but you know,
yeah.
but tan horribles. They're so bad. They're so bad. Like man, there were huge merchandising things. Like, man, those things were on everything. These guys were on everything. And
Yes.
again, they would always put all of them, but really all three
It's
movies
just about Troy.
is about Troy.
Yeah.
And maybe if you want to push it a bit, Sharpay. Because she's the one in the second one mainly pushing him to become like a country club a-hole like she is.
Yeah.
Other than that, like Gabriella was just like something in the background that like she sang beautifully with him.
So I have another question.
Go ahead.
Not necessarily about High School Musical, but are you interested? Yeah, we can see the eyebrows are. Are you interested that this is? Are you a Zac Efron fan?
It's funny. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, oh man, I'm so happy he moved away from this crap.
Yeah.
Because I loved him in 21 Jump Street. It's funny you asked that. This is a perfect question. Because yes, I did think that the whole time I was watching this movie. I loved him in 21 Jump Street. Not 21 Jump Street. I'm sorry.
Neighbors
Neighbors.
or 17 again?
And then 17 again, which is not really a popular film, but I love it.
I love it too.
I don't care if anybody else does. I like it.
Baywatch.
I didn't really care for him in Baywatch, but he was funny in it.
Yeah.
Man, there's a lot of man. He even did great in that movie where he played that serial killer. The one in Netflix.
Extremely Wicked and
something. I don't know where he played Ted
Bundy.
Ted Bundy under there.
Yeah, the Ted Bundy one.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah.
He was really good. I liked him in films, and
so you're a fan of him.
Yeah.
Are you interested that this is what started his career?
No.
Because it really wasn't even the first one.
I can see how he kept getting roles after this.
It really wasn't the first one that jump-started his career. The second one is what really pushed him through.
You telling me it was the lawn scene?
I think he showed a lot of diversity in the second movie. I think he did because it was actually him singing. I was talking about that earlier. There was a professional singer that sang in place of him, so he was lip singing the whole time in the first one. But the second one, they modified the music to his voice. One, I think that's why I didn't like the music because.
But did that help him any bit? Because he doesn't sing in any other one of his films.
No, but I think it showed diversity.
I think diversity is more of like a dramatic, like if he did something well dramatically. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I think I think as an actor he's pretty good. I actually enjoy most, if not all, most of his films.
Yeah, he's like Channing Tatum to me. I love everything he's in.
Channing, I didn't never watch like the original like role, like the chick flicks that he made at first.
Like The Vow and shit like that.
No, the one where he's dancing. I forgot the one.
Step Up?
Yeah, I never saw that one.
Oh, I love Step Up.
I never saw. I started watching Channing. What is it after? Basically after
21 Jump
Street. I was he got me like that. He was funny.
Wow.
And I knew he was a chick flick guy.
You watch Magic Mike?
No, never did.
It's hilarious.
Never did. I was always told to watch it, but never did.
It's
and I grew up with sisters. They all watched it.
Yeah.
Cochinas. But I never did. I never did.
I watched it. What can I say?
I never did.
I'll admit when that man is beautiful.
No,
he's beautiful.
I would too, but I never watched it. I heard the real star in Magic Mike is what's his name? The Dungeons and Dragon guy we talk about.
Oh,
I heard that he's the guy.
Oh man,
you're
just gonna make me blank out like that, man.
John Manganiello.
Manganiello, yeah. The D&D guy.
Yeah.
Secret D&D guy.
Yeah.
Not even secret. He's blatant
full-blown.
about it, but
Full blown.
But no one, all the women decide to ignore that fact.
Yeah.
It just shows that if you're hot, you can be nerdy.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, but
we got the nerdy.
But definitely for High School Musical. You got any other questions, concerns for me?
No, I think you
Since-
pretty much covered the hate pretty well.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so what we're talking about next episode
The next one we're gonna talk about is something that that he hasn't watched. And I
that you were
have.
surprised that I hadn't watched.
Yeah, I was surprised he hadn't watched. That's why I gave him these films because they're the Expendables. Just so you know, the trilogy.
Yes.
But we decided to choose this one because he's a huge action film guy.
Yeah.
I'm not so much, but I've watched these. So I was like, "What? You haven't watched these?
Yeah.
Go ahead and watch them." You know, and he was interested in watching them anyway, so we figured we'll give him a shot.
Yeah.
I already knew what was up. We'll talk about it in the next episode.
Yeah.
But let's see if
We'll talk.
let me see if what I thought he was gonna if we concur. Let's
If we
put it that-
agree,
yeah,
one of those rare agreement moments.
Yeah, because yeah, let me be quiet about those movies and talk about it on the next one. But once again, thank you guys for any view, any like, subscribe. You know, on YouTube, any subscription to any of our streaming services. We have a whole bunch of them out now.
Yeah.
Our website added to the list,
Podcast.com.
podcast.com. That's always up and running. That feeds you to everything you need. Thank you, Carlos, once again for doing all this and more. Thank everybody, really, good and bad. We appreciate it. We listen. We're trying to fix Larry's mic
Yeah.
as much as we can. I hope we're getting better at it. I know I was editing the other videos. We had a little bit of a audio hiccup where all of a sudden our audio would just start echoing. I think I fixed it. We had to buy more stuff.
Yeah.
So it's taking us, but we're getting there, and appreciate your patience with us. So thank you very much, you guys. Thank you, Batman, for always being there back with us.
He's over here. Shout out to Batman.
Over here. And so and just all in all, I hope you appreciate our dopiness, my hate for this movie apparently. And thank you once
It's
again
not me this
from
time.
the podcast. Add it to the list with Evelio.
And Larry. See y'all
Thank-
next time.
Yeah, thank you.